In the middle of an imminent, unavoidable health pandemic, the thing West Australians are worried about is slightly unseasonal rain. I think a lot of hesitant people would get jabbed if he did that. Wharfies know every trick in the book to make it look like they aren't taking industrial action when they really are.
How's this rain? What?
Coronavirus is knocking on our door. We are hopelessly ill-prepared for it because our health system is completely rooted. There's a national debate about opening the borders, and the first question you ask me is about the weather. You know, we're all fat, dumb and happy when in the middle of an imminent, unavoidable health pandemic, the thing West Australians are worried about is slightly unseasonal rain.
Good day for ducks.
And we wonder why only about half of us are fully vaccinated. The West went out and spoke to a bunch of people about why they haven't got the jab just recently. Proper old school boots on the ground journalism in the areas of lowest vax rates, asking the question, why? I was half expecting arguments about the effectiveness of herd immunity or about ivermectin as a cure for COVID.
I think you will find, and you can write this down, in the coming weeks, the World Health Organization will belatedly recommend ivermectin as a treatment.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
The people the West interviewed didn't even try to fight for the rights of the individual against the state.
But they'll never take our freedom!
They were just nonplussed about the whole thing.
We said meh.
Not terribly strong views either way.
M-E-H. Meh.
There were the usual health misconceptions. A woman named Kerry was worried the vaccine was going to affect her plumbing somehow, saying some women were having issues with their periods after getting the Pfizer vax. A woman named Bedelia said her biggest fear is there's been so many people who have actually died from blood clots. The so many is actually 8 from 12.5 million doses of AstraZeneca administered in Australia. But at least Bedelia had a reason not to get the jab, as dubious as that reason was. Kwinana man Jacob reckons he deserves the right not to be vaccinated because he was a good citizen during lockdown and didn't spread his germs. I wore my mask, he said. I didn't go out or cough on grandma. I did the right thing. Jacob's so firm in his belief, he went so far as to say, not even a free cookie would change my mind.
Hello.
Jacob, you are a f***ing idiot.
They are not going to like you in Kwinana. Should McGowan set a date to open the border?
With Kwinana? No. With the rest of Australia? Probably. A lot of people think a clear line in the sand would make the likes of Kerry, Jacob and Bedelia go to a clinic.
I'd pack my bags if I were you, Bedelia.
They'll move if McGowan says the virus is coming in on, say, January 1, so get vaxxed or get dead. I think a lot of hesitant people would get jabbed if he did that. But would there be enough to get to 80% by, say, January 1? And what happens if a week out, we're still at 70%? Would McGowan hold the line? Hold! Or would he fold?
He's backed himself into a corner.
And it's a problem of his own making. He's trumpeted his success too enthusiastically.
You need to get ahead of the virus. Protect West Australians. Crush and kill the virus. Crush the virus.
His own modelling says 4,000 West Australians are hospitalised and 700 dead within 6 months if we open up at 80%. So 70% is going to be ugly. Think of the footage on the news of people on ventilators outside hospital because the ambulances are ramped. Again, if it gets into remote communities before their vax rates are up, we're looking at losing a big proportion of the oldest Aboriginal generation. So let's say the Premier blinks. He postpones the border opening after he's gone all in and bet the house on the lure and the threat of January 1.
All in.
The anti-vaxxers have won.
Well, I think I will call you on that one.
And if they call his bluff, we're all screwed because he can never play the border card again. This little hermit kingdom stays locked up for as long as it takes for the government to prepare the health system for COVID running riot through the 30% of the population who are unprotected.
That could move at a glacial pace.
It'd probably take a year. I'm not joking. It could probably take a year. Our hospitals are completely stuffed. If Mark McGowan had real guts, he would come clean with West Australians and admit the reason we can't open the borders is his government's total mishandling of the health system. Another hospital was on code yellow today. You didn't hear about it because it's no longer news. We have the lowest number of ICU beds in the country. Ambulance ramping at 6 times the rate at which Roger Cook called a crisis when he was in opposition. McGowan can't afford for a lot of people to get sick all at once.
Well, he wouldn't like working at Freo Port then.
That was a classic. The Wharfies officially called off their 3-month strike on Friday, and on Saturday, they all called in sick. It's an industrial tactic called blue flu, pioneered by the coppers. Everyone says they're crook during pay negotiations, so there are no blue uniforms on the street.
Sit down, boys. We're joining this strike.
It's the strike you have when you've promised not to strike, which was the undertaking the MUA gave the Fair Work Commission last week. The MUA says 60 people didn't show up because the stevedoring company they were negotiating with, Cube, had told them not to if they weren't vaccinated.
Do you believe them?
I believe the Maritime Union of Australia is the best industrial negotiator in the country.
I'm going to make them an offer he can't refuse.
It's why the average port worker gets paid $140,000 for a 35-hour week. Wharfies know every trick in the book to make it look like they aren't taking industrial action when they really are. Apart from mass sickies, they lean on shipping companies to boycott stevedoring businesses they're negotiating with. So a company like Cube finds big shipping lines won't sign contracts with them because they're worried about not getting offloaded when the ship gets to ports in America or Europe. The International Brotherhood of Wharfies is very strong. They don't give an inch. The MUA at Freo isn't just arguing over whether they have to work if it's hotter than 38 degrees, which rules out most of January and February. They're arguing about which type of thermometer is used to measure the temperature.
You see? Everyone's interested in the weather. That wind's picking up.
Give me strength.
We will rebuild.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.